Hey guys, DT Rockstar 1 here. You know, our local news has a segment called I Saw It on the Internet, So It Must Be Real. I have a segment here called I've Never Heard of It, So It Has to Suck. People often assume that if something was any good, that they probably would have heard of it. Or if it wasn't a commercial success or you've never heard of it, then it must suck, right? Well, let me ask you this. Justin Bieber has sold millions of albums, or MP3s in this day and age, so he must be an amazing artist, right? Or that porn star was featured in a lot of films, so she must be a great actress, right? Sure, there's plenty of things out there that were successful and popular for a good reason. But too many people make assumptions about things that are more obscure, whether it's cars, music, movies, whatever. There was a car that was way ahead of its time. It went into production in the early 90s. It was faster than most of its rivals at the time, and to this day still holds a candle to most modern supercars. Most people haven't heard of it, and only 17 production units were made. So it must suck, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the Vector W8 Twin Turbo. I mentioned this car in one of my last videos. This car was the brainchild of Jerry Weigert. Weigert always wanted to be a fighter pilot, but his vision wasn't good enough, so he designed his own jet fighter on wheels. When I say jet fighter, that's no exaggeration. The electroluminescent display panel is the same kind that's used on the F-117A stealth fighter. Even the name of the company was Vector Aeromotive, and that it was a car using aerospace technology. Other parts like circuit breakers and switches were also made from jet aircraft. It was made from space-age materials like carbon fiber, Kevlar, and S-Glass. Journalists raved about the fit and finish and the overall build quality of this car just being superb. The engine was a 6-liter twin-turbo V8. It was an all-aluminum 90-degree pushrod engine made by Rodec that is commonly used in race cars, particularly dragsters. At a minimum, this car produced 625 horsepower in 1991. That's more than you got from the Jaguar XJ220 and the Bugatti EB110 from the same era. But notice how I said minimum? That's right, this car had an adjustable boost level in the dash, which could push the boost level up to 11 pounds. The result was an astounding 1,200 horsepower. Of course, you would need something like 114 octane fuel to do something like that without destroying the engine. With the boost at the lowest setting, the automotive magazines tested this car and the results were 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds and the quarter mile in 12 seconds at 124 miles per hour. That's 199 kilometers per hour. These were very impressive figures for 1991. This car had a hefty price tag at around $448,000. But it was built to last the owner's life. Owners of this car have reported spending a total of only a couple $1,000s over an ownership of over 10 years. Ferraris and Lamborghinis can cost $7,000 every few thousand miles. Those cars will drain your wallet like a person's ass with diarrhea. So why did Vector Aeromotive get such a bad rap? Well, first off, one of the first owners of the car was tennis superstar Andre Agassi. Agassi demanded that the car be put on display at his house for his birthday before the car was even finished. The people at Vector warned him not to drive it as it could do serious damage to the car. Unfortunately, Agassi ignored those warnings. He took the car for a joyride and did serious damage to the car. He complained about it, he wanted his money back, and so the bad press coming from a superstar really damaged Vector's image. Second, founder Jerry Weigert needed investors to keep his company running. He got financial backing from an Indonesian company called Megatech. If that name sounds familiar, that's because it's the same company that bought Lamborghini in 1994. Megatech initiated a hostile takeover of Vector, firing the founder of the company, Jerry Weigert. Weigert owned the copyrights to the Vector W8, so they couldn't continue to build that. Megatech went on to produce the Vector M12, which was said by many to be a rebodied Lamborghini Diablo. It used the same 5.7-liter V12 engine. It lost everything that made the Vector so unique. Gone were the aircraft-like elements, it was slower, and the build quality was terrible. The M12 is said by some journalists to be the worst car ever made. Unfortunately, this bad press really rubbed off on the Vector W8. The M12 was poorly made, and many people assumed that the W8 was the same way. The point is, a lot of people are thinking, well, they hardly made any W8s, so it must be a bad car. They hardly made any W8s because the Indonesians took over, and they didn't have the rights to make the W8. It's a shame, really. It would have been amazing to see this car succeed and give many other cars a run for their money. This is DT Rockstar 1. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.